Now, I identify as trans and genderqueer, and to me that means I like to play with gender, I like to problematize gender. I like to confront gender norms in how I present and how I move through the world. I feel female and male. I feel both and neither one. And
this is a psychotherapist and just might be the most confused person about gender ever. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, corruption of tyrants, and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. One of the things I believe Satan does is tries to destroy human beings' awareness of truth. There are certain biological truths, many truths, that I would dare say Satan wants to destroy people's awareness of, and some of that falls into the realm of gender. Now, there is a fascinating TED Talk given by the person that you just saw at the beginning, Laura Jacobs, without a doubt, the most confused person about gender that I have ever seen, yet this is a mental health professional who's educating people about gender. That's like having an illiterate person teaching kids how to read. Yep. It's a way to do it. That's what we know. Now, there are some absolutely fascinating clips of Laura's TED Talk we're going to go through. There are a lot of self-contradictions. There are a lot of non-reality based perspectives. Very entertaining, yet also relevant because this is the stuff being aimed at our kids and their minds. Now, just for a little context, this TED Talk is 3 years old. You can see on this screen. It's racked up 2.9 thousand views in 3 years. That tells you nobody actually wants to watch this information in a non-ironic fashion. You and I kind of like to watch it ironically and, poke holes in it. This is on TEDx Talk's YouTube channel that has 40 million subscribers. So for a TED Talk to get that low viewership means the content is crap. Just for contrast, I'm going to be a little narcissistic here. I did a TED Talk, I think it was back in 2017. You can see that TED Talk has 2.2 million views. Now, am I trying to say that I'm better than Laura Jacobs? No, I'm trying to say people want to watch my information more. That's all. Also worth noting, I certainly wouldn't give a TED Talk today because I think TED has gone woke and is just a lump of crap. But with that said, bygones be bygones. Let's take a look at the intro to Laura Jacobs' TED Talk. Boy, is it riveting.
Hi, my name is Laura Jacob. By day, I'm a psychotherapist specializing in transgender and gender non-binary issues, in LGBTQIA issues.
Shocker, the purple hair and somewhat women's clothing gave you away.
And in gender and sexual diversity more broadly, including BDSM, non-monogamy, and sex workers.
Got it. Yeah, that's good morals right there. Non-monogamy and sex workers, a specialization.
By night, I'm an author, I'm an activist, I'm a public speaker, and I have other intersecting identities as well. I'm white, I'm middle class, I'm queer, I'm kinky, I'm the grandchild of Holocaust survivors, and I also identify as Oreophilic.
It was meant to be a joke. Now, before we get to the next clip, it gets better. I just wanted to have a little intro to this educator out in society. If you take a look on the video description on this, TEDx is right up of Laura. It is great. Laura A. Jacobs, LCSW-R. I don't know what that means. TEDx lists Laura's pronouns, which are also contradictory to each other. Pronouns are she, he. I think those are opposites. They and none. Cool, none can't possibly exist here because there's 3 others. And then TEDx is exemplifying why they're woke and why I would never do work with them again. They absolutely wokeify this up. They refer to Laura throughout the rest of the description and kind of bio as they, which makes TEDx just seem the most illiterate people ever, like referring to one person as they. Their sentence structure is great. They serve as board of directors. They were recently presented the 2019 Standard of Excellence Award by the something. They, who else are you talking about, Ted? Next clip. And here we are going to consider some of the most important questions that you and I have been pondering our whole lives.
Now, I identify as trans and genderqueer, and to me that means I like to play with gender, I like to problematize gender. I like to confront gender norms in how I present and how I move through the world.
I can tell.
I feel female and male. I feel both and neither one. And
does that sound like a confused person? I feel male and female. might be confused. But let's do confused squared. I feel male and female and also neither. It's possible a person's not in touch with themselves. They're either so exquisitely in touch with themselves or they're so out of touch with themselves. Not for me to judge, it's for me to ask the questions.
And so many of the labels that we use in this area feel equally authentic and inauthentic.
I love that. I love that. These labels feel both authentic and inauthentic. Thank you for that clarity. Definitely not wearing a badge of, I'm confused, but presenting myself as an educator.
And I simply can't tell when one gender ends and another begins.
What is a Woman? A documentary kind of proved that, as did just human existence.
Now, when I began my own transition, this was again about 4,000 years ago, it seemed like there were two distinct options, and I was deciding which one I wanted to pursue. I rejected that one or the other was somehow inherently better.
Yeah, I would reject that too. I don't think one gender is inherently better, but I would accept the idea that one gender is inherently more what I am.
I could see that being male or female might be privileged in a certain context, but that didn't equate to better. I realized that gender can only be understood through the lens of culture, and so...
Can gender only be understood through the lens of culture? Or does the lens of culture kind of warp our understanding of gender? It's a social construct. That's what gender is. So we can only understand it through the lens of culture. What about the lens of science? Trust the science, but not this science, right?
So it can't be tied to any particular expression, and even the idea that certain procreative roles were inherent to gender seemed a bit shaky.
Now, let's jump to one of the most ludicrous parts of this entirely ludicrous TED Talk. Now, we'll get back to the video in a second, but first, curious, did you get cremated? Whether you were coerced to keep your job, or you maybe just felt like it was the right thing to do at the time? And are you now getting nervous about the many health implications that are being documented? If so, you're not alone, because spike protein causes a whole host of long-term health-related issues that we're seeing in real time like never before. Well, fortunately, help is here because Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and the Chief Medical Board at the Wellness Company have found a solution. Spike Support Formula by the Wellness Company. The revolutionary over-the-counter Spike Support Formula is the gold standard in combating spike protein, the toxic substance at the root of almost all these health issues. It contains all natural ingredients researched to block and dissolve red spike protein in the blood. You don't have to worry yourself sick anymore because with the Wellness Company's Spike Support Formula, you can get back to feeling your best. Get your Spike Support Formula now by going to twc.health/JPReacts, and while you're there, be sure to use the discount code JPReacts to get 15% off your order. Back to the show.
I was also questioning the impact of technology on gender.
I like that.
Medical interventions allow some of us to change our primary and secondary sex characteristics. We have phalloplasty that creates a penis and a scrotum and testicles. We have vaginoplasty that creates a vagina and a vulva. We have chest masculinization.
I technically don't know what a vulva is.
And breast augmentation, all of which create bodies that are readable to outsiders, but clear that cisgender bodies are still the reference point.
Indeed. Say more.
But will technology give us options that are...
I love where Laura's going with this. Pay attention.
Artistic and creative? Artificial limbs even now can transmit rudimentary sensory data back to the wearer. And it seems to me that a fully functional, artificial, sensate penis is maybe not that far off.
I like that.
But do we have to stick to penis and vagina norms?
No, let's not.
Can we have genitalia that look like flowers or...
Yes! Yes! Can't we have genitalia that looks like flowers? That is our true north. That's my true genitalia. I just don't have it yet because we need the technology to make genitalia look like flowers. What else? Let's hear more.
Or abstract sculpture?
Yes, I want abstract sculpture. Genitals. Yes! Yes! The world needs to hear this.
Can we have multiple? Can they be interchangeable? And what about other areas?
Like shoes.
Now, communication is another form of technology that shapes our identities through access to the internet and media.
How are you going to make this about gender?
We may soon have technologies that allow us to engage even more immersively. Now, there are many different visions of what a transhumanist future might look like.
I don't know about you, but I am confused about why Elon Musk doesn't spend his time innovating flower genitals and sculpture genitals. Like that is some people's truth. That is who they really are. It's what they really are. They just don't have it yet. So it's really them because they don't have it yet.
Assuming technology continues to impact the body and identity, we may have access to gendered existences that we cannot now even fathom.
I love that. Can you imagine having access to gendered existences that we can't currently access? It's almost like this person's just making it up as he, she, they, none goes.
What I have learned is that the social norms we've been trained to follow are artificial.
This is reality.
And that gender is neither binary nor a spectrum, but a multidimensional, amorphous construct that's difficult to describe even by metaphor.
That's almost why the more you say, the less descriptive you are. But I like that, like multidimensional, amorphic. That's what gender is. It's multidimensional, amorphic. It's not biological whatsoever.
Gender is about joy and wisdom and happiness and
those are emotions, not gender.
Personal growth and enlightenment, and we can embody our genders in empowered acts of self-creation. The trans community is increasingly determined to make sure that everyone has access to the full multiplicity of genders.
Multiplicity, I like that word.
And that all are valid and valued.
Dude, 100%, they're all valid. Like, dude, how valid would the flower genitals be? That is so valid. The sculpture genitals, they're all valid. The made-up ones, like the making them up on the fly here, I like that they're more valid than the real ones. The made-up ones are more valid than the real ones. Yes, that is the truth of multidimensional, amorphic gender. You heard it here first, folks. As we conclude, my intention here isn't to mock or ridicule this person. My intention is to mock and ridicule the information coming from this person, because it's not only potentially meant to indoctrinate people, I'm sure, into what this person, Laura, believes to be true, yet I would dare say it indoctrinates, and it not only tries to eclipse truth, but it goes in the opposite direction of truth. And therefore, I will mock it, I will ridicule it. Not the person. I would imagine this person needs like some love and maybe some help. Certainly wish the best for the person. But information like this, it needs to be mocked and ridiculed because it's absolutely ridiculous, yet it's packaged in a serious form as though it's true, and then it's virtue signaled out, which is like giving kids drugs in the form of candy. I don't like that, therefore I will mock and ridicule it. With that said, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, thank you for watching this just riveting TEDx talk with me. Can you believe what TED has become? It is the laughing stock of the internet. I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Before you go, let me know your thoughts on this masterclass in gender in the comments below, and I'll see you in our next video.